Time. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
It's time for Tip-Off Tuesday.
There's no magic formula.
Eric Williams, three, good at the shot clock buzzer. Young all the way to the basket with two hands.
We're going to have to get ready for it.
Ducks get it to Richardson. His three is good.
And one of the things that I'm really proud of next game attitude.
Sedona Prince follows, scores, and is fouled. Perry steps into a long three and hits it. Solidly lay it in. Ducks take the lead.
Down the stretch, we made the plays, and that's what a good team's got to do.
This is Tip-Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. Let's talk Oregon Ducks basketball. From the Country Financial Studio, alongside Terry Johns, here's Joey Mack.
Well, it is Terry Johns alongside himself. Joey's on a plane. They're probably just about landing into Las Vegas. They were leaving about 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's when we went down, it was an hour and 38 minutes down, an hour and 39 minutes coming back. So they should just about be landing down in Las Vegas. Oregon men's basketball, that is, that we're talking about. 2:30 tomorrow, they take on the Oregon State Beavers. The Ducks, the number 5 seed. The Beavers, the number 12 seed. The winner would play Thursday against Colorado, the number 4 seed, again at 2:30. But ought to be a fun time. Let's see what team shows up. They're going to do it without Will Richardson. We know that, as Will not making the trip, but was announced and named a second-team All-Pac-12 player coming up this afternoon, or earlier this afternoon. As Will, All-Pac-12 second team, Richardson, 14.1 points a game, 45% plus field goal shooting on the year. 3.7 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 1.3 steals in 30 games, all starts, and scored in double figures 22 in 22 games with 7 20-point games. That's pretty good. One of 37 players in program history to record over 1,000 points at Oregon. Richardson ranks 9th all-time in both assists and steals for the Ducks. In January, Richardson was twice named Conference Player of the Week, led the team to wins over 2 top 5 opponents. Of course, the Ducks were on the road, and they beat number 3 UCLA at Pauley, number 5 USC at the Galen Center, all on the road in consecutive games. Nobody else has done that this year. But the losses. They probably got to win the tournament if they want to get in. At least that's what all the experts are saying, right? In the month, he averaged 19 points a game, 59% field goal shooting, 54.1 three-point shooting, and 3.3 rebounds, 2.9 assists, and 1.6 steals. First Duck player to make an all-conference team since both Chris Duarte and Eugene Omoruyi earned all Pac-12 first-team honors last season. Pretty good company for Will Richardson, but not on the trip to Vegas. Whether he can come later, we don't know. But it's a non-COVID-19 related illness is all we were told. That's all that we know. But hopefully he can come down and join if the Ducks first take care of the Beavers tomorrow at 2:30. The women wrapped up their Pac-12 tournament, awaiting selection Sunday, 5 o'clock on ESPN this Sunday. We'll find out where the Ducks go. Not likely that they get a host. We've talked about that. They probably needed that win against Utah. And I don't think that I was kind of following over the weekend. Still some tournaments to finish up, some women's tournaments the rest of this week. But it doesn't look like it's going to be enough for them to sneak in there. They needed to have that and didn't get it, and they're going to go on the road. And that's okay. That's okay. Right now, Charlie Cream has them as a number 5 seed heading to Bloomington, Indiana, where the 4 seed Indiana would be the host. And then the Ducks would play a 12 seed. Indiana would play a 13 seed. Usually Charlie Cream gets the teams right, who's in, all 68. Pretty close. He might miss 1 or 2. Locations can be a little bit different thing. That's all up to the NCAA selection committee. But we will see. 20-win season, 20-11, another 20-win season for the Ducks. I know we got spoiled, Duck fans, from a couple of years ago. Generational talent that group had. This is a whole different group and took second place. in the Pac-12 Conference. Came very close to knocking off Stanford at home. The game against Utah, I know disappointment. They ground one out against UCLA in the quarterfinals, and then in the semifinals, it was that third quarter, 23-8, Utah outscoring the Ducks. And then a little head-scratching coming up there toward the end, about 3.5 minutes left. By the way, I did talk to Nyara Sabli, said she actually on the 3, she actually tipped the ball, so it should not have been a foul. And I'm going to show you because I guess a lot of you didn't see on TV. If you listened to me on the radio, I told you what happened. Kelly Graves was right in front of me, did not say a word when he got teed up. Here's what he did. He went like that, turned around, and walked back. And that got him a tee. So that's what happened. So he was right in his post-game press conference that I didn't say a word, and none of us can say anymore. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Shall we get to some interviews? Dana Altman. Joey Mack sat down with Dana Altman, and I got Coach from Las Vegas, as he's still down in Las Vegas to watch his son Will playing for the number 1 team in the mid-side, Gonzaga. So I got a chance to talk with him. We'll have both of them. Dana coming up next first after this here on Tip-Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Ready to get back in the game? Great news. The movement experts at Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists can help you find relief and results and keep you off the sidelines. With 15 convenient locations across Portland, contact Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists today at proactivepts.com to see a physical therapist. Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists, a proud partner of Oregon Athletics and trusted choice for keeping Duck fans in the game.
This is the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to Tip-Off Tuesday. Terry John's solo. Here's Joey Mack heading down to Las Vegas with Oregon men's basketball. They should be just about arriving, getting ready for the Beavers tomorrow at 2:30. Joey Mack had a chance to talk with Oregon head coach Dana Altman earlier.
Final time this season that we'll talk with Coach Altman on Tip-Off Tuesday. Coach, thanks for always taking the time to join us, and let's jump in. Last weekend, Coach, I know it was one that didn't go your guys' way. How do you approach that with your team after the fact, and you kind of have to flush it and move on, get ready for the tournament, don't you?
Yeah, we sure do. It's just an opportunity for us to bounce back. We played really hard in our losses at Arizona, our win over UCLA, and our loss against USC, and we played awfully hard. And the disappointing fact is we didn't have that same type of focus, that same type of competitiveness. And so that's the disappointing part of the road trip. But I think, we can bounce back from that. We do need Will to bounce back. He struggled here of late. And so really need him to get going.
Well, Coach, that brings me to the question I know a lot of fans are wondering, the status on Will Richardson. Do you have an update for us heading into the tournament?
We don't. I don't know if it'll be a game time decision, Joey, or, when the doctors and Clay will decide. I know he's feeling good, so hopefully everything will go our way.
How did that change things, Coach? We talked a little bit about it post-game, and after you watched the film, just how did it affect the squad not having him out there schematically and leadership-wise?
Well, he's our most basketball-savvy guard, and he knows the offense the best. So, our execution offensively wasn't good, although we did score 74 points. Without him, it was our defensive effort, that really didn't enable us to compete with Washington State. We didn't guard the three. We didn't run their shooters off the line. And we were just a step slow defensively all day. But, that being said, Will does have a great feel for what we want to do offensively. He is a solid defender because he knows what we want. And so, we did miss him.
Staying in the backcourt, Coach, we've seen flashes. You and I have talked about this throughout the season from guys like Jacob Young, Davion Harmon, but it seems like the consistency, and I know this is kind of the million-dollar question, the consistency for those guys is what you've been looking for defensively, offensively. What are the keys to success for those guys here in the postseason?
Well, our consistency for the whole team has been a disappointment, I know, to our fans, our coaching staff, and to our team. We've had some great efforts. We've played some really good ball that we played up to our capabilities, but we've just had too many nights where, again, that competitiveness, the focus has been as good as it should be. And so, we're going to have to really get things put together here, in practice the next couple of days and be ready to go at 2:30 on Wednesday.
How do you approach it in practice this week, Coach? What are some of the focuses heading into the tournament?
Well, we've got to execute, and we got to make some, alternate plans in case Will doesn't go, to get some things, it wasn't decided until, Saturday morning that he wasn't going to play, so we're going to have to try to get a couple things in practice in case he's either really limited in minutes or not able to go.
Talking about the way that you guys adjusted, Coach, we saw for the first time in Folly Dante and Frank Kepnong in the starting lineup together. You kind of went tall there early on Saturday. What do you like about that lineup, and is it something that you could utilize moving forward?
Well, it puts us, in a tough spot defensively because so many teams, play with the four-man who can shoot the three, and we have a little difficulty. That was part of our difficulty guarding three. When we had the two big guys, they spread the floor on us, and we didn't get out to cover the three as well. So, we may go with some power lineups at times, but it does put us in a little tough spot defensively. And then offensively, we've got some things with the double post, but definitely not as many. And it doesn't allow Jacob to get downhill, with the postman in there because it kind of clogs the lane.
Talking about Frank Kepnong's development, Coach, he I thought was a bright spot offensively. He looked more and more comfortable throughout this season, and I thought a bright spot offensively on Saturday. What do you make of Frank Kepnong's development on the offensive end this year?
Well, considering that Frank, joined us late last year, had no off season this year because of a nagging injury. He was out all spring and summer. This basically was Frank's freshman year. And so, considering that, I think Frank's done a really good job. He's got a lot of energy, and there's no doubt he wants to play hard, practice hard all the time. And now it's just a matter of getting in the gym and continuing to work. But, I agree with you. Offensively, he looked very good. Defensively, he had some problems with the quickness of some of the players that he had to guard. But offensively, I thought Frank played very well.
There you go, Dana Altman with Joey Mack. By the way, you heard he mentioned at that time wasn't sure about Will Richardson. He did not make the trip with the team, if you didn't hear us say that earlier, and we don't know if he'll join later, but did not make the trip this afternoon down to Las Vegas. Part 2, Joey with Dana coming up next here on Tip-Off Tuesday after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has been the credit union serving the University of Oregon community. From the bright yellow duck debit card to the duck Visa rewards card. If you're a duck, you belong at OCCU, where you'll find fewer fees, higher savings rates, and lower rates on loans, and lots of fellow duck fans. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myoccu.org/Go Ducks.
Don't miss the third installment in the Kingsman film series, The Kingsman, starring Ray Fiennes, now available at Redbox. This action spy thriller prequel unfolds with the Duke of Oxford learning of a sinister plot by Rasputin and other notorious historical figures to eradicate millions of people in pre-World War I Europe. The story follows and reveals the origins of the independent intelligence agency, The Kingsman. Watch The Kingsman and make it a Redbox night. Visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch.
You're listening to Ducks basketball on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only soap and water and hands, your superhero can protect you, your family, and everyone out there in America land. Amazing! Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Tip-Off Tuesday, the final Tip-Off Tuesday. Hope you've enjoyed the shows all year long. Let's get part two. Join back with Dana Altman.
Talking about consistency, Coach, we've talked a lot this year about N'Faly Dante and how he's been dominant for you at times in games, both offensively, rebounding, setting a tone defensively. Is it really as simple with Dante of just looking for consistency and getting in more shape? I know we've talked about that a few times throughout the course of the year.
I don't know what it is. If I had the answer to that, he would be as productive as he's been in 4 or 5 games that he's just really taken over. But there's sometimes, he looks, just unbelievable, what the potential and how good he can be. And there's other times he looks awkward. He's slow and standing straight up and down and kind of out of position. And, Dante and I have had 100 talks about it. We talk every day about it, being athletic and low, and he's just had trouble with that consistency. So, again, he's coming off an ACL where his conditioning hasn't been great, but, he's had some great games for us. If you saw 2 or 3 of them, you'd think that, he's an All-American. In other games, he just hasn't been nearly as productive.
Talking about the matchup with Oregon State now, Coach. You mentioned 2:30, the start time coming up on Wednesday. It's the 5-12 game. You guys have beaten Oregon State a couple times this year, but you and I talked post-game briefly that maybe they're a little different team now than they were even a few weeks ago. What's the scouting report on Oregon State in round 3 against the Beavers in Vegas?
Well, they've played really good. They did, Washington, got them a little bit, but Washington State, both games with them, overtime game at their place, and a very close game in Pullman. Played USC to a double overtime game that could have went either way. So regardless, we know we're going to have our hands full. They're a very capable team. I know they're disappointed. Wayne and I stayed in contact. We've texted each other. I know he's, excited about the opportunity to play in the tournament like we are. It's a little bit of a new season, and they have good feelings since they played well last year. So, and over the years, Will and those guys, they've won a tournament also, so it's just an opportunity for us to play, swing away, try to make something happen. A week ago at this time, we were talking about an NCAA tournament berth, going to Washington, and we had a bad road trip, and we did not play well. And now we just need to go play well and see what happens. Try to make something happen, and when you're in this position, you just go swing away, take game for game. But we know we'll have a tough one Wednesday afternoon. I told our guys, right away when we knew that we were going to play them, that this will be a ball game. We're going to have to really compete.
Coach, talking about just the success in Las Vegas, they had it last year. You guys have had it a lot over the course of your tenure here at Oregon. What is the key to being successful in the tournament? What are the few keys to being successful in this tournament?
Well, you got to have a good team, and guys want to compete, we have won the tournament 3 times. We've played in the final a couple more. We've had guys that, we go to Vegas, LA when we first got here, but now Vegas, and the guys want to compete. And so I'm hoping, that this crew wants to go compete. And, we got a work cut out for us. We put ourselves in a position, not finishing strong like our past teams have, where we're not coming in, on a roll. But the first time we won it in 2013, we didn't come in on a roll either. We had lost the road swing to Colorado and Utah and didn't play well in either game. But the guys picked themselves up and won that tournament. So, it's just a matter of how the team focuses and how they regroup. And, we're going to need some leadership, and we're definitely going to need guys to really step up.
Here's another $1 million question for you, Coach. Do you like the response from your team so far this week as you get ready for that, what you called a new season here in Vegas?
Well, Joey, we haven't got together yet. I saw some of them Sunday when they came in for recovery, but we're taping this Monday morning. I haven't seen them. So I hate to give away your secret there, Joey, but we haven't practiced yet.
I take it. Coach, this is the inside the show for everybody, right? You guys are usually at practice when we're playing this. I think people know it's an afternoon practice. That's always been the schedule for you guys, right?
Absolutely. We practice Monday afternoon and Tuesday afternoon, and we'll fly out Tuesday evening to play. So, but we'll practice Monday and Tuesday and try to put some things together. And like I said, Joe, just go swing away.
So what you're telling me, Coach, is that when this airs on Tuesday, you're going to be like, yep, I like the response. This is everything that we wanted from the guys. I'm just going to wish that into existence right now for you, Coach. Am I doing my part?
Well, it's those guys that come to practice today, Joey. It's all up to them.
Yeah.
I just hope the group realizes that they have a great opportunity in front of them, our coaching staff has stayed consistent all year. These guys, Coach Jameson, Coach McKenna, Coach Meniga have been with me, and Chris Crutchfield's been unbelievable. He's been a great addition to our staff. And so, I know our coaching staff's been consistent with the message, and we just got to find a group that will go swing away for a few days here and try to make something happen.
Well, Coach, I got a couple more for you, and just hitting some threes. I know I'm asking you some of these $1 million questions here. Over the last few games, we've discussed how not hitting threes has hurt you guys. Sure would be nice to hit some threes in Las Vegas, huh?
Well, we haven't shot it well. The last 7-8 games, I'm not sure what happened. We're going and shooting it pretty good, and we haven't shot it well. A couple of them have been challenged, but when you review the film, we've had a lot of open looks that, we just got to shoot it better. So that's been, kind of hard for us to, when we're dependent on our guards to score, that's kind of been tough on our team.
Well, Coach, I'll leave you with this. Swing away. It's a new season, and I just want to say thanks for always taking the time to join us throughout the year on Tip-Off Tuesday, and look forward to catching up with you in Vegas, Coach, for a pregame chat. We'll do a little more scouting on Oregon State, and, hey, swing away, huh? I'll see you on the tarmac, all right?
All right. Take care.
Dana Altman, kind enough to join us. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it, sir.
All right, there you go. Joy Mack with Dana Altman. As he said going down in the evening when they talked yesterday, they decided to go at 1 o'clock, and they're probably on the ground, no doubt about it, in Las Vegas, getting to the hotel, getting to the rooms, checked in, and get loosened and get squared away and get ready for the Beavers coming up tomorrow, 2:30 tip-off against Oregon State in the first round. Winner takes on Colorado on Thursday at 2:30. But Joey will have all the action for you. 2 o'clock pregame show coming up tomorrow. And by the way, those of you listen to the Duck Insider and watch Duck Insider, no Duck Insider show Wednesday, and we hope they win, and no Duck Insider show on Thursday as well, as Joey will take it away. Kelly Graves' Toyota interview is coming up next. Talk to him. He's still down in Las Vegas watching his son play for Gonzaga, but we'll wrap up women's basketball portion of Tip-Off Tuesday here on the final Tip-Off Tuesday show. That's straight ahead. After this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan. How can I help?
Hey, Jan. Say, is now a good time for a new Toyota?
You bet it is. Now through April 4th is the perfect time to shop for a RAV4, Tundra, Tacoma, Corolla, and more. Imagine yourself in a RAV4. Where would you go first?
Skinny Al's Barbecue.
I'm imagining you inviting me.
Let your imagination run wild at your participating Toyota dealer. Ready, set, go get your Toyota today. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary.
It's time to play Perfect Food Pairings, brought to you by Mountain Dew. This dish pairs perfectly with the bold citrus kick of Mountain Dew.
Oh, street tacos.
Sorry, that is not the answer we're looking for.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos?
Sorry, that is also not the answer.
What the heck?
Is it chicken wings?
Correct.
What? Wait a second.
Yeah, hold on. Mountain Dew pairs perfectly with street tacos.
And Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
This show is so lame.
This show is not lame.
Yeah, you're lame.
Nothing pairs perfectly with food like Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
You're listening to Oregon Basketball from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the final Tip-Off Tuesday of the season as we turn to women's basketball. The Ducks making the semifinals for the 5th time in the last 6 years and a 20-win season, 6 of the last 7 years. All in all, a pretty good year. I know not the results that we all wanted, but there's still some season left. The NCAA selection show coming up Sunday at 5 p.m. on ESPN. Got a chance yesterday on Zoom as Coach Graves still down in Las Vegas to watch his son play for Gonzaga, and got a chance to talk with KG. Our chat with Kelly Graves brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Well, Coach, the Pac-12 tournament 1-1, and let's start with the UCLA game first. What a great game that was in the quarterfinals.
It sure was. Both teams played well. I don't think either team shot well, but both teams took care of the ball. It was close throughout. I don't know how many lead changes and ties, but it was just a high-level game by both teams. And fortunately for us, we made the defensive stops down the stretch, and some important free throws, and and moved on. It was a tough game though.
Yeah, 14 lead changes in that game and 7 ties. Nobody had a bigger lead than UCLA had 5. We had 4. It was a heck of a game, and they wanted you guys pretty badly. And Niara Sabli, Sedona Prince really came through for you in that second half.
They did. I think our size ended up being the difference. They both had double doubles, played really, really well. Played well together, we didn't shoot it well. We rebounded well. I think we were a +10 there, and in the first half, I think if I remember right, they had 14 second chance points, but second half they only had 2, and that was a big difference in the final outcome for sure.
Yeah, and they only had 2. They had 11 offensive boards in the first half, just 2 in the second half, and that was in the fourth quarter. They had none in the third quarter. Utah game. Go ahead.
Same possession, if I'm not mistaken. I think they were both on the same possession.
Yeah, may have. All right, then you moved on to Utah, the semifinals. You got them twice during the regular season. Very close games, very tight games. You knew it would be with this, although the Ducks had control, and then all of a sudden after that third quarter, you didn't.
Yeah, it got away from us. Again, we didn't shoot it well. We didn't guard as well as we had the first couple of times we played them. It wasn't our best moment, but credit Utah. They played with house money. You could tell they played loose, got hot in that third quarter, and we didn't go with them, even though we made a run back, and I think even may have taken the lead or tied it. And then the 3-point play, the subsequent technical foul by me, and it just, that ended up being about a 5-point possession, and we went from 1 up to 4 or 5 down, and and then we couldn't stay in it after that.
How much of I guess disappointment for the team, I guess an understatement, but I know they were disappointed. They expected to be in that championship game.
Yeah, and I'm firmly a believer that if we would have been, we probably would have garnered a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. So it proved to be a really tough loss. But, honestly, Terry, yeah, we're all disappointed. Everyone was. You could tell the team was after. But, we just, it's kind of been our MO all year. Unfortunately, we just have been pretty inconsistent, game to game, quarter to quarter, half to half. We just haven't had the kind of consistency and certainly shooting the ball that we need, and now last year at this time, we lost in the first round for the first time in several years in this tournament. And then we went on a nice run in the NCAA tournament. We're certainly capable of doing that. And that's what our goal is going to be, obviously.
To host, I mean, obviously the big advantage, you have your fans there, even though the NCAA takes care of everything, and it's the arena looks a little bit different, but that is huge to have the home court, because now if you go in as a 5, which is what Charlie Cream has you as, you're gonna, in that second game, you both get there, you're gonna have to beat a 4 on its home floor, and it's a big difference.
Well, it is. We did that a few years ago, and we went down and beat. We were a 10 seed and ended up beating Duke, a 2 seed on their home floor. But it makes it tougher. But we've won good games on the road against NCAA tournament teams, so we're not going to be afraid of that. But to be honest with you, I'll go on record right now, and I've said it several times before. I think for the women's NCAA tournament to be, legitimized even more, I think we've got to get away from host sites in the first round and the second round. I just don't think it's fair. And listen, we've been a host 3 times. So, I'm not saying this because we're not hosting this year. I'm a fan of the NCAA. And I think if you want to make it as fair as possible, then, put it on neutral sites. I think that our game is in a position to do that. I think we've grown enough now. I get the theory. Oh, you get home courts in the first few rounds. You're going to draw bigger fans, and that might be the case in some locations, but not all locations. And then you're splitting hairs sometimes between the 4s and the 5s. And now listen, I'm not complaining. We're legitimately not a top 4 seed right now. We could have earned our way into that. We didn't. So I'm not complaining about that. Don't take it that way. But I think it's time to tinker with the format. Even if you put 16 teams in one site, and do 4 regions across the country in the first 2 rounds. But I think it's time for a change.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I think the women's game has grown enough as far as attendance, and that's been the big reason about having the home first two rounds at a college site or a home site. But it has grown, and we talked about that last week, that the women's game is coming. It's really growing.
Yeah, no question about it. And you're seeing a lot more parity. You know, you looked at Miami was in the final. They were a 7 seed of the ACC tournament. They knocked off Louisville. Kentucky ends up beating Kentucky had to have been a 7 or 8 seed in their tournament.
7, yeah.
7, and they beat South Carolina in the final. Utah was a 6 seed, and they were in our final. It's happening all over the place. And I think what makes the men's tournament magical are some of the early round upsets. Usually the team that ends up winning it is the best anyway. You know, you get most of the top seeds are going to make the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8, so that, you know, the cream rises. But every once in a while you get that upset, and it just can't happen on the women's side very much. You know, 12 or 13, maybe 14 or 15 of the top 6 seeds are going to end up being in the Sweet 16. And we hope to be one of those teams that will upset those higher seeds, but that's the reality. So it doesn't make it, I think, as magical. And so I think it's time.
What are your thoughts? I think we've talked about this before. I know Debbie Antonelli, a ESPN broadcaster and a former player and from back in the ACC country, but she's been a big proponent of having Las Vegas. I think she wants from the second weekend on, but what about even having a permanent site for of the Final Four, a la like softball does, Oklahoma City, baseball with Omaha? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think we need that. I like the rotation of the Final Four. I wish it was out west more often. Yeah. I think Phoenix got a bid here coming up next few years. But the Final Four is not broken. It sells out anywhere we go. And I think that's been a real positive.
There you go, Coach Graves talking to me yesterday from Las Vegas on Zoom. The Toyota Kelly Graves interview. We'll have part 2 coming up here on Tip-Off Tuesday after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has been the credit union serving the University of Oregon community. From the bright yellow Duck debit card to the Duck Visa Rewards card. If you're a duck, you belong at OCCU, where you'll find fewer fees, higher savings rates, and lower rates on loans, and lots of fellow Duck fans. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myoccu.org/Go Ducks.
Ready to get back in the game? Great news. The movement experts at Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists can help you find relief and results and keep you off the sidelines. With 15 convenient locations across Portland, contact Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists today at proactivepts.com to see a physical therapist. Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists, a proud partner of Oregon Athletics and trusted choice for keeping Duck fans in the game.
This is Tip-Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Okay, man, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's Terry Johns going solo here. Today's Joey Mack with the Oregon men down in Las Vegas for the Pac-12 tournament. 2:30 again tomorrow against the Beavers. Joey have the pregame show for you on the Oregon Sports Network beginning at 2 o'clock tomorrow. All right, continue talking women's basketball, putting the wrap on it before we get ready for the NCAAs. Coach even talks about the 4 recruits coming in next year and gets in a little bit more in depth here as the final tip-off Tuesday show. Let's have part 2 of Kelly Graves.
Coach, you got another 20-win season, 6 out of the last 7 years, and more to come, hopefully, here in the postseason. But that's, we talked about that in the pregame the other day, but it's still a big deal to do that.
Yeah, there's always something magical about 20 wins. Even though we don't feel all that great with where we're at right now, it's been a successful season in a lot of ways. We still have, an opportunity to even enhance that season. And we've been pretty regular, in that group, even though you said 6 of the last 7 years. Last year was one of those years we just didn't play that many games,
right?
But still ended up going to the Sweet 16. So, I'm really proud of our program where we're at. We're definitely one of the nation's best. We've been very consistent. We're gonna, the culture is in place. We're getting good kids, and listen, when all's said and done, we were still the 2 seed in the Pac-12, one of the toughest conferences. I love the Pac-12 in that if you look over the last 4 or 5 years, I think we have the best record of any conference in the NCAA tournament. And so it bodes well for us, even though we don't have a ton of teams in the top 25. I think that the league prepares us for the NCAA tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if, again, we have multiple teams get to the Sweet 16 and beyond, including us. So, we've got it going. We've got a great class of players coming in next year. We're still relatively young. When you look at Niara, Sedona, this is just their second year, even though they're considered our veterans, for crying out loud. Tahina, sophomore. India, junior. Sydney Parrish, sophomore. Maddie Shear, sophomore. Technically, I guess they could even be freshmen, because they get last year back if they want. So we're still a young team with a young nucleus, and so we're not going anywhere.
And I don't mean fans that we're looking ahead to next year already, but this is our final Tip-Off Tuesday show, so I want to make sure I get a chance to talk to Coach Graves. Well, first of all, before we talk about the recruits that are coming in next year, the injuries this season, just kind of review of the season where you started. I mean, you were 6-4 in the non-conference, although ended up 7-4 the win over UConn. Well, and Carroll, I guess you'd be 8-4. But in the non-conference, when you had all those injuries, the big 3 was out, and then you got them, and it's just been it's been an odd season, and you still managed to get to 20 wins.
Yeah, it has, and even though we're not fully happy with how things have played out. Yeah, it was difficult, to go for up until basically Christmas without your top 3 players in terms of production. What proved to be our top 3 all Pac-12 performers. Nobody had to deal with that, and there were a lot of teams across the country that, we have this injury and that injury. Nobody was hit harder than us. So it took us a little while to get our feet underneath us. And then once we did we had a nice little 8-game winning streak there in mid-January. I just think, all the games that we played down the stretch, the lack of practice time, I just think took its toll. Our consistency just was never there. And that was for a variety of reasons. I obviously could have done a better job as a coach, coached them up. And, we just, it didn't always mesh, but we did play some really good basketball this year. I think our net is still really high. We've done some good things, and now we have a chance to, for another season in the NCAA tournament. So I'm really looking forward to that, but make no mistake about it. It was a crazy year, honestly.
Yep. All right. Quick look ahead. You're number 12, by the way, this morning here as we record this on Monday, but still number 12 in the net. Let's look ahead to next year's class and, tell us who they are. Well, I guess what they're like, and then what maybe you're projecting them as a Duck. And start with Chance Gray, the highest ranked at number 7 in the ESPN girls poll.
Yeah, Chance is just an electric guard. I mean, she's a scoring guard, can play the point. I love her ability in transition. I think she's great in transition, both as a scorer and as a passer. But she kind of reminds me a little bit of Charisma Osborne at UCLA, has that type of talent. She's, a top 5 in the Naismith voting, for the National High School Player of the Year, which is really, really cool. A McDonald's All-American as well. So guard out, just an electric scoring guard out of Ohio. And then Grace Van Sluten, another McDonald's All-American, about 6'3", really hard worker. She's kind of a combination of an Erin Boley, can shoot it, but she's got a little bit of a power game as well. She's great around the basket. She's old school, up and unders, very aggressive, can attack the basket. I really like her. I think she's got a super bright future. And then 2 players out of Arizona, Jenna Tsai. Jenna is going to win the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Arizona. They just won the state championship. Broad-shouldered, 5'11", just tough as nails, a winner at Valley Vista High School. Loves contact. I mean, she can get to the basket, loves contact, and a really good defender. Right now, and I think she made 10 threes in a game this year. So she can shoot it, she can drive it, she gets to the line, and a good defender. And then Kennedy Basham, a 6'7" player out of Arizona, did not play this year. She's had injuries and could have played, but she decided to have her feet operated on, and missed the season. So, good athlete, runs the floor, has a little bit of Lydia Giomi in her in terms of that kind of athleticism. That she's skinny and, still she's got to get in the weight room, but it's a really good class, and we kind of have filled some needs, but I really like them, and they're all winners. Grace played at IMG Academy down there in Florida. She's from Toledo, Ohio. So two players from Ohio and 2 from Arizona. Go figure. And it's one of the top classes in the country.
Yep, absolutely. I loved what you said about Jenna Tsai, because I was going to bring it up. But when the video I've seen of her, you said tough as nails, and I just thought, well, she just plays tough. And, and I think Van Sluten like that as well.
Yeah, and they're all coaches' daughters. Well, Kennedy's not, but, Kennedy's brother plays at Pepperdine. He's a freshman there, big 7-footer. But yeah, coaches' daughters, they know how to play. And I really like them. They're good students. They're good teammates. They're really just good people. That's who we recruit. We don't recruit knuckleheads. We recruit the best of the best. We're in that position. We don't have to take a chance on idiots, a high risk, high reward kind of student athletes. We're getting really great young women who are also obviously very, very good basketball players.
Well, before I let you go, Coach, just want to say here, going to the NCAA tournament, I've told people, and we've talked about the up and down season, but the up is so good that it wouldn't surprise you for this team to make it all the way to Minneapolis in the Final Four.
Well, it wouldn't. It's going to be a challenge, but it wouldn't. Absolutely. And, and I just don't want our fans to get spoiled. Making the tournament and being a 5 or a 6 seed is nothing to shake your, yeah, we didn't win the Pac-12, and we've set such a high bar for ourselves that here we're saying a top or a 5 seed or a 6 seed, which puts you in the top 20 or 25 in the country, is a tough season. That's the kind of bar we've set. We've built a monster program here. We're not going anywhere. We're always going to be a factor nationally and in recruiting and in the NCAA tournament and the Pac-12. So, I think we need to, remember all the good things that have happened and let's hope for some more to happen here in the next couple of weeks.
All right, Coach. Thanks for always being available all season long. I know, and good luck to your son, Will, and Gonzaga tonight.
I'm wearing my Duck gear right now, but for the next 2 days from here on out, I'm going to wear all my Zag gear. Actually, it's funny. I gave up all my Zag gear when I left. I had to buy new stuff a couple of weeks ago because I don't have anything Gonzaga stuff. But, yeah, I'm really looking forward to them. And hopefully our journey ends in Minneapolis or gets to Minneapolis, and hopefully theirs gets to New Orleans. It would be a pretty neat deal. So you'll see me there cheering tonight.
All right, Coach. Thanks.
Okay, buddy. See you, Terry.
There you go, head coach Kelly Graves, the Toyota Kelly Graves interview, and always fun to talk to him. He will tell you the truth, what's on his mind, and you love that. I mean, you love that. You ask him a question, and he will answer it the best that he knows how, and I just love talking with him. And he's intense during games, sometimes in practice, but he's just a big teddy bear off the this is what he did for the team. Yeah, that's Scotty just did that, so that's what. Yeah, but you're right. That's all he did. Tee him up. But he is a great coach, great coaching staff, by the way. Jody Berry, who's been with him for years, I don't know, 18 years, something like that, from Gonzaga and over here to Oregon, and Mike Moser, the former Duck men's player, just outstanding. Jackie Naird-Hairston. Just outstanding coaches and recruiters. They're in good hands, and hopefully a nice NCAA run. We will find out this Sunday, 5 o'clock, ESPN, who the Ducks play, where they go, and go strap them up and see what you can do. By the way, the Ducks, I love that Coach Graves, they have a week off from leaving Las Vegas. Many of them left Saturday morning. Saturday late. No, we played late, so it'd be Sunday. No, it was Friday, because it was Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday they took the day off, and the championship was Sunday. So I think Saturday, the ones that could go home went home with family. A lot of their families were there in Las Vegas. They should be reconvening here in Eugene sometime around Thursday. I think they get back, and then their practice is on Friday, as this being dead week, so they're home relaxing, but also getting some studies and getting ready for finals week, and I'm sure finishing up some final projects and all those things. So again, this is the final show, final Duck Insider show. Duck Insider. I knew it was going to happen. Where's the jar? I got to put some money. All right, here we go. We got the flag. There we go. Got the flag. A penalty on Terry here on the final show. Usually Joey's over here, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever he says, I'll just respond to him. But having fun. But the men, don't forget tomorrow, Pac-12 tournament, round 1 against the Beavers, 2:30, the tip-off, and a 2 o'clock pregame show with Joey Mack down in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. Beautiful arena, by the way. Yeah, just an absolutely beautiful arena. Thanks, Duck fans. Hope you enjoyed Tip-Off Tuesday all season long. Let's keep it going. Go Ducks.
Don't miss the third installment in the Kingsman film series, The Kingsman, starring Ray Fiennes. Now available at Redbox. This action spy thriller prequel unfolds with the Duke of Oxford learning of a sinister plot by Rasputin and other notorious historical figures to eradicate millions of people in pre-World War I Europe. The story follows and reveals the origins of the independent intelligence agency, The Kingsman. Watch The Kingsman and make it a Redbox now.